Hey y'all. So June 24th, 2022. I can't think of anything that happened. It's just a random date I pulled for no particular reason. Nothing monumental happened at all. No, and yet you've been even under rock. Roe in Roe v. Wade. It was overturned on June 24th, 2022. And people have already been raging out about it. I mean, various different opinions getting sought down, mostly from men. But it has been overturned, and there's been a lot of chatter about it. And most of that chatter goes in one or two ways. It goes in, well, what about this incest or rape? What about that? What do you do in those situations? Well, we have to look at that. I looked up the actual numbers behind it, and one was 98%, yes, and 98% for both. That'd be yes and 2% for both, not 98%. And one of them was women coming in on rape cases were 1%. Women coming in on incest cases were yes and 1%, 0.5%. So, wait, you're telling me if those cases are wrong, if it's wrong because of incest and because of rape, which honestly I'd only argue one of those, because the incest one even reasons between a brother and a sister, even reasons between two biological family members. I mean, they should know it could result in a baby. So I don't really have any sympathy for that. The only thing I could think of was they were meaning like when a father rapes his daughter against the will or something else of that nature happens, which would fall into the rape category on it, I think. And I mean, rape victims I have all the sympathy in the world for. That should be some wiggle room there. And even then, I was still give them the fact, give them the medical information, everything that they would need. The psychiatrical toll it could take. But, even the term abortion is an ugly thing. We don't like to use it all that much. So we've turned it into a political issue. We've turned it into an issue of, well, it's my body, my choice. Why are you regulating what I have to do with my body, what I have to do with my life? Why are you regulating? Why are you regulating that? Why are you preventing me from doing something that is my body, isn't it? We've turned something into a political issue. We've turned something into a political issue that was never meant to be turned into a political issue. Because, yes, you did have a choice. You had a choice whether to have sex or not. And maybe this will, maybe this won't. But maybe this will help people have a little more restraint and a little more tact and a little more conservatism, if you will. Because abortion was never meant to be a morning after pill. I mean, you go back even 10, 20 years, the moniker was safe, eagle, and rare. The key word in that sentence was rare. It was never meant to be some sort of celebratory morning after pill type thing, but yet we treat it as such because honesty, whether we act in it or not, whether these pro-abortionists act in it or not, and that's what I'm calling it. It's pro-abortion. They act to be called pro-choice because it makes them feel better, but I'm calling them pro-abortion. Even pro-abortionists don't act in the middle of a yacht, even if they pretend to. But we don't value yachts the same way we did. We in no way value yachts the same as we did. And what these pro-abortionists, what these people advocated for to say, well, you only care about them after they're born. You don't care about whether they're educated. You don't care about this, and this. Well, that's the hypothetical that we'd probably never be able to answer. Not only is that factually false, but in order to have all those things, education, good financial situation, whatever, in order to have those things, you have to be given a chance to give in the first place. So, which is better? I mean, living in poverty and maybe, and probably actually being able to pull yourself up, being able to pull yourself out of poverty. That's what a lot of self-made millionaires and billionaires did. So, what's better? Having the chance to live in poverty, but also have a chance to pull yourself out of poverty, or have that life, or potential of life, whatever you want to say, taken away from you because you might be at a disadvantage. You might be disabled, which is something very near and dear to me, because on account of my brother and me being born premature, my mother and father didn't know this at the time, I don't think, but because of us being born premature, I was born in a wheelchair. Well, that's not technically true. I had a lot of other health concerns before, along with my leg not being able to work. Did you know me and my brother weren't even supposed to live 24 hours? The doctor didn't think we were. But my parents didn't give up, even if we were gonna, even if the doctor just say, okay, your children aren't gonna live 24 hours, your children aren't gonna live very long, if even that. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna tell you. But, lo and behold, here I am at 26 years old, going on YouTube, giving an anti-abortion message. And my brother has got a beautiful wife. They both got good jobs. They both have a beautiful son, my beautiful nephew. So, if we can make it, all our health concerns, you can too. And let me tell you something. Let me give some encouragement. I'm not expecting to change everybody's mind here, but let me give some encouragement to people. If you're on the fence about maybe abortion, whether that's the best thing, if you're on the fence about it, no matter what you believe, let me assure you of one thing. God would not allow you to get pregnant, to be impregnated, if you couldn't handle it. Because yes, it is sperm in the egg, but ultimately God is directing that sperm and that egg to each other. Whether you believe so or not doesn't make it any less factual, doesn't make it any less true. And even then, I say that you talk about miscarriages and stuff, and even then I say, well, God isn't in charge of miscarriages. God doesn't cause a miscarriage. That's a result of sin and a result of this fallen world. Sometimes God just allows natural processes to carry forth. But He can work through that. He can and will. So, like I say, God would have allowed you this chance to raise a life, this chance to raise His life that He's given you if He didn't think you could handle it. Well, not if He didn't think you could handle it, if He didn't know you couldn't handle it. Because that's a common argument I hear too. I hear, well, I want children, but not today. I'm not ready. I'm not blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. We live in a very self-centered and selfish society. Not helped by the media and people today saying, oh, you should just be in comfort, you should just be in ravishment, you deserve this, you don't deserve any inconvenience, you don't deserve any pain, you don't deserve any struggle, you just deserve an easy life. The thing is, that's fallacy in and of itself. There's no such thing as an easy life. Even if an abortion does go through, I mean, you're still going to have hardships, you're still going to have struggles, your body's still going to break down, you're still going to die eventually. So, I mean, what's an excuse for that? And that's what these are. These are just excuses. You know, evil can take many forms, and evil can evolve. That's why in 1 Thessalonians 5:22 through 24, it says, abstain from every form of evil. Now, may the God of peace self-sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit, soul, body be preserved blameless at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. He called you faithful, who will also do it. If God brought you to it, which He did, He'll see you through it. Even if you think there's no hope, even if you think, oh, this is really going to inconvenience me, that's the eyes of the devil. Yeah, I can say if God had brought you through it, if God had brought you to it, He can bring you through it. And hopefully, like I said at the beginning of this, if nothing else, this causes men and women to exercise just a little more strain around each other. Because I've never been in this situation like that, but I imagine it's not that hard to control yourself. I mean, I'd imagine so. I don't think God designed men and women to just go ape on each other every time they see each other. Otherwise, they'd be rapes and sex going on every minute of every day. So, yes, we do have control of each other. It just, those one few seconds of carnal pleasure that you should maybe deny yourself until you know you're ready. Because there'll always be, I won't even say a risk, because it's not a risk. There'll always be a possibility. There'll always be a possibility when a man and a woman come together, when a man and a woman have sex, there'll always be that possibility to get pregnant, even if you're not thinking about it, even if it's subconscious in your mind, even if you're in the throes of passion, there'll always be that possibility. And that baby that God blessed you with, whether you want to say Kim Purcell, or whether you want to say baby, or whether you want to say something, speaking of that, I'd also say, if you believe it's a Kim Purcell inside of you, and it's not a baby yet, it's gonna be. That potential life is gonna grow to life. Now, I understand that some pregnancies don't take, but more often than not, that potential life is going to result in life itself. So I would ask, what's the difference between that? What's the difference between potential life and life itself? Is it okay to snuff one out and not the other? Whether because of monetary purposes, like if you have your baby and you're still in this dire financial situation that you're in, you find yourself in one. It's not lawful to kill your baby then. So why is it lawful to kill your baby now when it's already inside, when it's just inside of you? Guys, I love you. I understand it's been a ramby, but I wanted to hit all the points that I thought were necessary. And regardless of what you think, this is gonna save a lot of lives. I mean, whether you believe in Kim Purcell or not, this is gonna save a lot of lives. It's gonna discourage a lot of people using abortion as a form of birth control. And that's what we wanted to discourage. That's all we wanted to discourage. Guys, I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next week.